More than you.
Word. Like a boss.
I don't know. Have you seen anything? I'm not.
Oh, so I guess
I see Jason.
I need to go to Facebook.
Yeah, I can see you. I can see Jason. Mm-hmm.
I just heard my voice. That's all I heard. That's an interesting delay.
How come we're not going on the event itself?
All them a chat gal make them fret. Cause you don't know you and your man now left. You are his choice. Make first prize. Jump and chuck out, girl. You are the hey! So we tell them that one more time. Oh na 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 na. Girl, you have the shape and you are the figure. Remind me of the Benz or the Lexus or the Beamer.
Look,
That's
Jason
as much as I know.
Jason doing the versus clash right now.
Right?
Jason versus Jason.
Hilarious. Me nah school you, me gonna take interview. Get that? What was Beanie's response to that? Me said a good man, wicked man, not take man for try. Glocking on me, yacht my kill and destroy. Murder your mama, make your papa start cry. Police run. And then Bounty Killer coming and
You can't stop him, you know.
Yeah.
oh, and all type of thing this guy teaching, couple shot reach him, and him dead. And then Beanie Man coming and say, memories don't live like people do. They'll always remember you. Whether things are good or bad, it's just the memories that we have. And then Bounty Killer come in and say, we say we're riding, rest. Long time we say we bulletproof. Oh, yo!
Yes, man. So round of applause for Jason.
Yeah.
Yes, Jason. You're bad, man. You're bad.
I like how Nyla does entertain the thing. All right. So we ready for this thing? I'm trying to figure out where we are.
That was a segue, so you could do your thing and nobody really noticed that you had to do your thing. That was
appreciate
the point.
that. Appreciate that, buddy. Well done. Well done. All right. I guess I could only look at it on Facebook. I can't see it in Zoom, but whatever. All right. We ready?
Yep.
We ready to do this thing?
You're ready when you're ready. Top shot on a guy. Ready for die. Ready for that.
All right. Greetings. This is so weird because I can't see myself, so I don't know what. Anyway, stop it, Marissa.
We see you.
We see you.
Greetings. Okay. So weird because I can't see myself. So I don't know what. Okay, there we go. Okay. Greetings. Welcome to another episode of Caribbean Current. Welcome to our first official episode of Caribbean Current Live. We're trying a new thing this year. We on live. Somebody, I hear
somebody need to mute their Facebook Live.
Yeah. All right. So we're doing it live, and we're excited. You know, a lot of discussion. We were preparing for this, and a lot of back and forth because our topic today we all feel very passionate about. So, as you know, Caribbean Current is a platform where we spark conversation about important things that are happening in our community. And we have some fun stuff to talk about today. So I'm Marissa, founder of To Be Caribbean, brand architect, radio personality. We also have Nyla.
Hello, it's Nyla, educator and activist. Pleasure to be here with the crew.
Yeah. Trissa.
Hi, I'm Trissa, just Caribbean enthusiast and looking forward to pushing the culture forward.
Yeah. We have our producer, Genesis, who's in the background, but being very impactful and making sure we move things forward. And of course, we have, hey, Genesis.
Hello.
And of course, we have Jason.
Big up all the massive man, Queen or Jason Skywalker, you know, Caribbean Current, Sound Man, Yard Man, Caribbean Man, Radio Man, TV Man, journalist, activist, all them thing there. Turn up like what?
Wow. I like your background, Jason. It's very nice.
What you mean, man? The yellow, green, and black.
Very patriotic.
Because we don't have no luck. We're going to bring it right back. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, anyway. So yeah, so with that introduction, that was the crew, at least most of the crew, and we have something on our minds this week. We were talking about Bounty and Beenie, who we know had an epic versus performance. They had the most numbers. I think it was like 3.8 million views. You know, it was next level in terms of execution and in terms of the numbers and results. And now they are getting ownership stakes with the sale of Versus to Thriller You. And we're trying to decide if that's something we should be excited about as a community, or if it's something we should question. And then how does that impact the other genres in the Caribbean community? Because we have dancehall, we have soca, we have reggae, we have all these different platforms, genres of music that we want to see, like, is this something, a model we could follow, or do we need to do something differently? So that's the frame for what we're talking about today. And I would love to hear from the team what you all think. Who kicking us off?
So let me start because I already know Jason always going to come with the heat. You know, I love it though. I love it. I love
Slander. Slander.
All right. So we're talking about, boy, this is a multi-layered topic, right? When I saw Beenie versus Bounty, very excited, especially for a Jamaican living outside of the United States, because you know, if any Caribbean people, Jamaican person would tell you, when you get to see these artists online or in person, is always pure excitement. Okay. But I had no idea at the time that it was going to generate so much popularity with not just Caribbean people, not just Jamaicans, but with a lot of people, like folks that I didn't even realize was into dancehall was talking about this clash. You know what I mean?
So, even the night of Erica Badu, Gabrielle Union, all of them on the platform. So yeah.
But Erica has always shown love for dancehall, though. I have to be up for that.
Okay.
That's true. So now that we're bringing up this topic about them having ownership, of course. You see what I'm saying? Like, why not?
I agree. And you know, it's a strategic move for Thriller too, because they see the notoriety, they understand the impact of the culture and what it can do. So the more, not only users you can have, but the more talent that you could bring onto your platform, that's going to draw people to your platform. That's going to draw income to your business. This is a money generating thing too. So you got to, you know, I just want it to be a win-win for everyone. And that's what I'm looking at, you know, like long term, is everybody going to come out on top? And I think starting with ownership shares, I think it's a win-win for right now, at least.
That's a strong point, because we know they ain't doing it for the love of the culture. It's all about the money, right? But we were able to show data and numbers that, yeah, we more than worth it. So yeah.
We have the spending power. We have the spending power because, you know, people are going to come on there to download music. And it's good for up and coming artists too, right? They can see, oh, we already have this platform. We already have this notoriety on this platform. People are going to come on this platform. So, you know, I think it's good. I look forward to good things out of this. So we'll see. I don't know. Jason?
Come true, Jason. Come true, Jason.
Come true. We're ready.
He's shaking his hands. He's ready.
All right.
I set you up nice.
All right. Versus, all of us know the biggest night of versus was Beenie Man and Bounty Killer. And of course, one of the reasons is because we did it in the style that Versus is taking it off of. Versus is taking it from Clash, which is from Jamaica, from the Caribbean. That's our thing. In dancehall, in soca, in reggae music, sound systems, the whole nine. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Mercer the other day, and the number 2 sound system in Clash are these. Babyface come from Trinidad. So you know, as a Caribbean thing, right? So here's what I will say. When this whole thing started and all the hype around it, or when it got up on Billboard magazine, Beenie and Bounty weren't mentioned, right? So you already know how to regard our part to the conversation. Now, it is an improvement that now that there's money being really talked about the whole manifestation of versus, that the two that had the biggest thing get a piece of the ownership. It's also logical. So in my opinion, I don't really give nobody a star for that because it's logical. The people that bring the biggest turnout should get a piece. Here's my problem. Verses come from our things. Clash. You understand? And we our culture is not getting the props it deserves. It's not getting the resources it deserves. Right now, people from our culture complain about how things are right now. Can you imagine if things like Verses, things like Clash was being monetized the way it's supposed to be? You understand? Versus don't show you already what's supposed to be happening with Clash. And Clash not getting nothing. And that's my problem with it. You understand? When we look at the foundation people we lost recently, Bunny Wailer, Daddy Uri, we're losing the foundation and we're not even, but other people capitalizing off of the foundation and we aren't. As in Triller. Triller don't have nothing to do with the Caribbean. When we even mentioned Timberland and Swiss Beats. I mean, I know Swiss Beats from him was 17. Good youth. Him love our music from a long time. But it's not our thing. Big respect say give Bounty and Beenie Man the money, but that's what should happen. Clash need to benefit.
So Jason, you said they don't get no brownie points for doing that. That is the most logical thing, and that should have just.
My child is hungry. I give it food. Yeah, logics. I don't get a star for that.
Okay.
Just say.
And to be clear,
plenty people who would leave the child to starve though.
Facts, boy.
Look here, Trisha. Trisha, why you bring up all these other conversations, Trisha?
There are plenty bad parents out there, right? So, they get at least a half a brownie point. But something, oh gosh, it's a give and take.
But Jason, let me ask you something. You say you and I are the Jamaicans of the group. When you say we, what you mean? Who's we?
The Caribbean, like I said earlier, which is why I mentioned Babyface. So I'm trying to make sure I mention countries in the Caribbean. Clash is our thing. Our thing has always been coming. Now, do recognize when we started Clash, all of us, nobody thought that this would be something that anybody outside the Caribbean would be interested in. So, I mean, I have to admit that. When it was done, it was just done to show us that we're better than the next person, whoever it is. I mean, everything that we do in all our forms of music, Clash is involved. Whether it be Carnival Monarch competition, whether it be the King of the Dancehall, whether it be Dancehall Queen, whatever you choose, I don't care what you go. There is that competition against artists, sound against sound. It's consistent. That is our thing throughout the Caribbean.
So I want to add a layer to the conversation because your point is well received. I mean, it seems like it's something that should have been done. They don't necessarily get brownie points. But Trista, I hear your point, right? Like there are some people who wouldn't even do that. So we'll take the kudos where they're giving it to us, right? But Jason, to your point about Clash culture, so recently Skinny Fabulous and Lyrical representing soca music, they had their Clash. And I don't think the numbers were even close to Bounty and Beenie. But it seems like with the soca artists who are doing it on a more local platform, which is the Digicel platform, it doesn't seem to be getting as much love. And that raises a question. And as I said, this is another layer to it. Is it because it's soca music? Is it because it's on a local platform? What are the reasons that those clashes aren't getting the same amount of love as a Bounty versus Beenie, let's say? Any thoughts?
So, that's kind of the conversation, like what you'll hear in dancehall is like, yo, why Buju record don't sell like Sean Paul record? At the end of the day, what we're talking about here now is reach and the pushing of that, whatever that thing is. Because there's no way anybody will say that Sean Paul is 1,000 times better than Buju. But Sean Paul is selling 1,000 times more than Buju. So he gets a platform, so it's a different conversation altogether. I totally believe, especially if the Caribbean diaspora really got involved, and this is a conversation we're going to all the time, to supporting, say, Skinny Fabulous Clash, what they are, then you could have numbers. And I've seen it done in terms of a Caribbean entity. We just saw it with Barris where they got 1 million views. So it can be done. That being said, Versus did have mainstream artists who put it together, Timberland and DJ Switz, and a string of mainstream artists before them. So that set up a platform that allowed for a much bigger explosion than if you just did it by itself, in my opinion.
Also too, we also have to recognize, and this is not making excuses at all, but we also have to recognize the influence of a Bounty and a Beenie, right? Skinny Fabulous. I am a huge fan of Skinny Fabulous, right? But Skinny Fabulous is still a kind of a newcomer.
New artist. I
Right.
agree.
Right, to the soca music. So he might not generate as much hype.
Agree.
Right, Trissa, right? So
Yeah.
but I still think there's room for Skinny Fabulous though, you know, because to me, Skinny Fabulous is like the bounty killer of soca music.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I wouldn't go so far,
Bungie Garlin is the closest.
The boy was
like, no.
Bungie Garlin is the closest thing out of
hype.
Trinidad to Bounty Killer. Okay, just saying. I'm just gonna put that.
No, what I mean is, just hear what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when I think about a Skinny Fabulous, when I see him perform, I enjoy watching him perform, but he reminds me of how Bounty used to perform back in the day. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, so like you're comparing them in their careers. Bounty at this point in his career versus Skinny at this point in his career. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So look at Jason. Look at Jason.
Yeah. You know,
that's a long run rate.
So my 2 cents is from the lens of marketing, right? And I see this throughout with soca, dancehall, and reggae. I think what I see, and this might just be a cultural thing, with dancehall and reggae, they tap into any possible platform to make sure they get the word out, right? So like even for Barry's concert the other day, like any platform that even talked about Caribbean music, they were reaching out and they were trying to make sure that they were engaging these people so that the word was getting out organically. And then of course they had their paid promotions, etc. I don't see that much energy with soca, to keep it real. Like I think soca is very siloed, is very cliqued. They reach out to people who they know, who they think would have influence. And as a result, it stays in a very small pool of people who are aware of the different things that are happening, you know? And I think that impacts the amount of power that soca could have in terms of its influence, because we box ourselves in. So that's kind of what I saw was a miss with that clash versus a Bounty versus Beenie, taking away things like Versus was a bigger platform, an American platform, etc., etc. But I saw like there were other opportunities to engage diaspora that were missed for the soca clash.
Yeah,
that reach.
The reach. I think it's really about the reach.
Maximizing the reach.
It can be done though.
That being said, though, reggae is not consistent on that, because our most iconic reggae festival is Reggae Sunsplash, which happened last year, and I don't care if anybody from Reggae Sunsplash is watching this. You never market it right. Nobody never know. Nobody come. Nobody saw it.
You keep on bringing fire. Go ahead.
I'm just making the point that you have to work it all the time. Like the Bereshamon, like you said, the Bereshamon thing. Everybody worked it, and one could say, well, Beres is iconic. I'm like, okay, Reggae Sunsplash is iconic, especially with non-Caribbean people. And it was not. I think it was 2 people that watch it. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but I'm just saying.
So in terms of reach, though, Genesis just brought up a great point. She was saying that in the 70s, British rock bands used reggae music, and that helped it to go platinum. So is it that there's an opportunity for soca and dancehall to maybe ride the coattails of another genre to get more exposure? Is that potentially an opportunity for us?
So well, it's punk bands, and punk. It wasn't riding punk. It was actually punk riding
reggae.
Oh, the other way around. Okay.
Right. It was punk riding reggae and soca in England. Like that. So in England. So just to give you like a background, in England, the underground youth who were rebelling, white youth that was rebelling against the way things were done in the old ways, in their clubs, it was old calypso and old soca, old ska. That's what was being played regularly, and old reggae. And that was popular. And so they were actually trying to copy the reggae and the calypso that they were hearing, and that became punk music. So they were riding the coattails of the popular Caribbean music that was
That's good
in
history.
that was
Okay,
into London.
but you see what Jason just said? Okay, if they're riding the coattails of reggae or whatever, this is why these Caribbean countries, let's go back to what we talk about with shackles of tourism, right? This is why our Caribbean countries need to have some rights to this kind of music, to the genre of music, and ownership and a say, so that when these artists or punk rock, whoever want to ride coattails, the Caribbean countries or Caribbean people or the Caribbean artists are getting piece of that action and getting the money well deserved.
Yeah.
Right.
So to answer what you
Yeah,
just
because
said,
you can't have an influence if you're not at the table. You
Right.
can't make
and
an
you and
impact.
you're right, Trisha. But to answer what you're just saying, unfortunately, I think Jamaica is the only country that pushed forward in 1986 the international copyright law to protect music that had been created in Jamaica by Jamaicans, and they immediately sued UB40 and all that and started getting money. So
That's something that needs to happen.
all
Yeah.
36 countries need to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
I want to, before we move forward, I just want to acknowledge Rebel. Rebel, thank you for tuning in. And she had a great comment about the Versus platform. Oh, yeah. So digital platform was local, whereas Versus has a lot more reach. So that's why it had a wider impact. So thank you, Rebel, for that comment.
Yeah, I mean, Rebel is just agreeing with my point. I mean,
Anyway,
thank you, Rebel. Rebel Mass, big up.
Big up, Rebel.
Anyhow.
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him, Rebel.
Yes,
Don't
please,
encourage
Lord. Lord
Yes.
knows. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, I think we keep saying it over and over, guys. Like, you know, this is just a part of why Caribbean people need to be more united in how we do everything.
Approach.
Indeed.
It's all about it's very clear that it's always all about the money. You know, it's always
numbers and money. Yep.
Yeah. So use the talent and use the culture and use the arts that we have to make that money and also continue the traditions of these cultures so we can continue to enjoy ourselves.
Indeed, indeed.
And I think it's about a reach back to, right? So we have these two big names, Beenie and Bounty. They have, you know, now you look at artists coming up, be like, I could do that too. Look at where they are. You know, is that reach back, bring those new artists up, you know, with them.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be important as well.
So I'm not gonna name names, but to be honest with you, there's one artist that's doing what you just said, and has always been doing that.
Protege.
Well, no, before Protege even sang his
Oh,
first
okay,
song.
sorry. I will think I sing, but okay, sorry, my bad.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to big him up. Bounty Killer, who has always done that.
Nice.
But most other artists, once this suddenly happens, they are like, oh, my time again, not really looking at anybody else. So, Trisha, I agree with you. Unfortunately, it is few and far between. Mercer did mention Protege, and of course, Bounty Killer does that on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So Marissa, I know we're about to end, right? But maybe this is something we could think about for next time. The influence of Coffee, the artist. She is everywhere right now.
Yep.
Everywhere.
Oh yeah. Coffee.
Plenty endorsements, plenty money flowing. Yes.
Absolutely.
Good for her.
Who are you talking about? Who you talking about? Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee? I'm just curious.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah. So we had a lot of great points that came up today. So I want to make sure that we recap it, you know, and keep it top of mind. We started off talking about Bounty versus Beenie and them getting ownership stakes with the sale of Versus to Thriller U. Is that something good or is that something bad? We had different
It's a Thriller. Thriller U is an artist. Thriller is a business.
Sorry. Yes, but we had different perspectives on the team. Some people think it's a really good move. Some people like Jason think it's not, and that that is a foundational thing that we should have gotten.
For who? Right. That's why. Not. Right. It's an improvement of what has always been, but no, that should happen. We need to have it better.
What's the alternative, Jason?
I describe part of the alternative. I think if entire diaspora really got plugged in and supported any of these clashes that have been happening, like clashes is regular. Like clashes like 5 times a year. Like when the day the pandemic was announced in the US, I was on a clash with Major Lazer and HMV and Changes My Sound. So clash is regular.
So that actually evolves into the other point we talked about in terms of diaspora engagement. And we spoke about the Skinny Fabulous and Lyrical having their soca clash and making sure they have as much numbers as, let's say, a Bounty versus Beenie or whoever artist. Once they're Caribbean, I think, we all in agreement that we should support so that we have the numbers to validate that we have a voice. I feel like we talked about other things. We talked about the icons, Bunny Wailer, Daddy Uroy, Sparrow, all the ones who made this possible. What I'm missing? What else we talk about? I feel like we talk about plenty things.
Just the importance of Caribbean people recognizing their influence and the need for us to be more unified in making sure that our culture and our talent is and the money that comes from it comes back to the Caribbean and it's protected, right?
Right, protection, yeah.
And we also talk about the fact that Skinny Fabulous is not Bounty Killer.
Yeah, so Rebels saying solutions at this point. Agreed, Rebels, all about the solutions. So you notice I ignored you, Jason. Anyhow, so I think this was a good discussion. I think we talked about a lot of things impacting our community, and I love, Nyla, the fact that you brought up shackles of tourism, because that was pretty much the genesis of this topic, right? In terms of COVID has shown us that we can't rely on tourism anymore in the Caribbean islands. What are our alternatives? What are our best exports? Music and entertainment is at the top of that list. So how do we make sure we maintain ownership, we monetize it, we benefit from it? So next time, we have a topic already. We're going to be talking about coffee, I assume. And
I'm allergic to coffee, I mean,
and
tea.
we're going to make sure we find a equivalent soca artist in the mix. I'm voting for Nyla Blackman because I think they're on similar trajectories, but we could talk about that. But yeah, we want to hear from you. Thank you, Rebel, for engaging with us and letting us know your thoughts. We have Esita talking about I like Jason, whatever. Esita.
Big up, Esita. I'm a
Oh,
bonafide.
oh, no.
Esita, yo, turn up
You're
like
not
what?
getting any
Me
of
and
this.
you, Esita, yeah. I say Rebel must follow my argument. Oh, you mean? Massive and crew.
Yes, so every Sunday at 2 p.m., the whole crew, most of us will be here. We're actually going to extend this to Clubhouse and a few other platforms. So just keep it locked, stay on the page. We'll keep you updated as to where we're going with this, what our topics are. So I was Marissa. Well, I am Marissa, founder of To Be Caribbean.
I was going to ask you who you are now.
And we'll just do a brief recap of the team, Nyla.
Nyla, educator activist. You can follow me at forever. What's my thing again? Okay, at Forever Niles. At Forever Niles on Instagram.
Yeah. Trissa,
just culture lover, pushing the culture forward. Follow me at on Instagram at GrandyBell868.
Yeah. Genesis. Or should I talk for you?
This is Genesis, producer of Caribbean Kurrent. Nice to see everybody.
Yeah. Jason
Skywalker. You mean? Big man, sound man, Jamaica man, music man. Oh, you mean? Caribbean man. Big up all of the massive them. You can follow me at Jason Skywalker on Instagram. Big up all of the crew every time.
And To Be Caribbean, number 2, letter B, Caribbean with a K. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Yeah.
Don't forget the K's. Big up all of the view of them. Tongues.
Bye, everyone.
Walk good.
All right, so I'll do this now. End. Do I end? Wait, yes.